Hey everybody, welcome back. Back by popular demand.
Hi.
Can we get some more mustache ASMR?
My mustache is say no more. He's gone. My sweet little Herbert is gone to sleep for a little while.
You named your mustache Herbert?
Yeah.
Okay. We are reading some more of your stories from the official Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. And honey, these are unhinged. If you thought those other ones were bad, these are worse. Am I the a-hole for asking a wedding guest to leave the room? I, 40 female, am a wedding photographer. To start, this story is a bit long, but let me give you some background. When I book a wedding, I make it very clear to the bride, we will call her Amber, 19, and groom, let's call him Sam, also 19. These are the rules. Number 1. No phones allowed in the ceremony. Number 2. If there are any photos they want private, please let me know. And number 3. I will not hold back to tell people to put their phones down or not to step in front of me. My most recent wedding happened this Friday. I knew within the first 15 minutes of guests arriving, including the groom's mother, let's call her Susan.
Classic Susan.
Classic Susan.
What a lazy Susan. I love lazy Susans. Anyways.
The bride's aunt, let's call her Karen, for good reason, that this would be a long day. Wow, I already feel like that's so loaded.
It's gonna be a long one.
I already know everything I need to know just because the mother is called Susan and the aunt is called Karen. During the ceremony, as Amber was walking down the aisle, Susan decided she wanted to place herself as close to the aisleway as I am, trying to capture the look on Sam's face. I did my best to work around her without actually placing myself in the aisle. Thankfully, as I have begun editing, I think I will be able to edit and possibly remove her from the photo. Thank God for Photoshop. Imagine if there was no such thing as Photoshop.
What would we do?
Yes, very sad. Anyway.
Have you seen like what they can do now with generative fill?
I have. It's crazy.
I could take a photo of me here and then I could be flying in the sky like a pink sunset or swimming on top of the ocean.
Photoshop should come up with like a remove Karen tool.
RK, we'll call it that.
It uses AI to automatically suss out the Karens in any photograph and they just remove them.
I think we're onto something. This is genius.
I'm gonna make a plugin.
Write that down.
This was only the beginning of her being in my way. The rest of the ceremony went beautifully. After the ceremony ended, everyone was asking to move to the reception hall so we could continue on with taking photos. After all the basics, family and wedding party photos, I asked everyone besides Amber and Sam to head out so we could get their solo and couple shots done. The session was one of the ones that they requested to stay private. Private! I made sure the room was empty before we began. We started with a beautiful shot of Amber propped up on the piano and Sam standing behind her. As I was posing them, I saw her, Karen.
Dun dun dun. Karen.
At the front door with her phone out recording. I sighed, took a deep breath, and turned to her. Ma'am, I'm sorry, but I need you to leave the room. These photos are for the bride and groom only. Per their request, they don't want anyone recording or taking photos beside me. She huffed a bit, as they do, rolled her eyes and put her phone away and headed back to the reception. After this cue, us heading outside to get the photos of them under the beautiful arches and large wooden French doors. As I begin posing Amber in front of the big doors, here comes Susan. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Wait, can we make Susan like Jennifer Coolidge?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That's so beautiful.
That's so beautiful.
Are there hot dogs in there?
I need a hot dog real bad.
Now I want a hot dog.
Thank you, but please go inside. This is a private session, I said politely. I'm just watching, she retorted. I tried to hold in my bitch look face and smiled. I understand, but this was also a request by the bride and your son to keep things private, I said. Please go inside. I can't begin until you go, I said. Again, the huffy sigh, and I swear a tiny foot stomp.
It's a little tiny foot stomp.
Oh my god, this is so unreasonable.
I think of Lord Farquaad for some reason.
Yeah, totally. You would think this is where it ends. It doesn't. Now we go to the part where I think I may be the a-hole. During the father-daughter dance, here comes Karen with her phone to record the entire thing over my shoulder. I don't care if guest takes photos or videos of these moments, and neither did Amber or Sam, but she was directly over my shoulder and occasionally stepping in front of me to get close up. She did that on purpose. I'm telling you right now, because you told her to leave and she was feeling petty, not endearing kind of petty. And then she just kind of was like, I took a deep breath and tried to take the red I was seeing to a light pink before I turned to her. Ma'am, Amber and Sam have paid me to do this job. I need you to stay out of my way or I'm gonna have to ask you to go sit down. I cannot capture these moments if you are constantly in my way and interrupting, I said, probably with a bit of sass. Imagine that she's so busy being petty that she ruins irreplaceable photos of you and your father. Are you divorced? Are they divorced, by the way?
You interested?
I know, but still, she's got to assert dominance, right? She's the director on set. She's been paid to do a job.
Yeah.
And she has to be stern.
I completely agree. And if she does not get the right shots that she was paid to get, that could in turn reflect badly on her.
And then she could get bad reputation and people don't want to work with her, maybe.
Yeah. It's a no from me.
I'm a freelancer, so I respect her. I got you. I'm on your side.
I'm on your side too, but it's also because I'm a photographer and I'm always on the photographer's side.
Yeah, me too.
I am family, Karen said. I get that, but this is my job and you're interfering. Now please step aside or go sit down. I snapped. Yes, snapped so hard, I'm pretty sure she got word whiplash. So yes, I do my best to be professional, but I had had enough. I worry I may have been too rude to her, and her entire table glared at me for the rest of the night. I worry I may not have handled this the right way. So am I the a-hole? Edit to answer the most common comment. Yes, the bride and groom did back me up. Oh, well, thank goodness for that.
Thank God they did.
They even tipped me the morning after for helping everything run smoothly. It would be one thing if this was the first time that Karen kind of got in the way and you had to tell her to like whack off, essentially. But she was clearly, in my opinion, doing this because you had initially kind of told her off. She felt some type of way about it. She was a little salty and she was kind of getting in your way a little bit. And it was deliberate. Like I'm telling you right now, it seemed deliberate. I mean, that would bother me too if I'm trying to do a job. Mike, how would you feel when you were setting up this shot? If, I was worried about the argument we had this morning and I was just constantly looking over your shoulder and like telling you to do stuff and like getting in your way all the time. It would drive you absolutely insane.
It did drive me nuts when I was setting up the shot and we talked about the argument this morning. But let's not get into that.
You burnt.
No, honestly, like if you're in the zone, if you're doing your thing, you don't want to be bothered, right? Like I don't know what this person, Karen, was trying to do. Again, Karen, bittersweet because Karen's my mom's name, and I think there are good Karens out there, but this woman sounds like a real Karen, like one of those bad Karens. I always side with the freelancer. This is a wedding. You have one shot at doing these shots, one opportunity.
I heard it in my head and then it went to you. You know when you hear a joke and then someone else says it? That's exactly what happened.
I'm just sure that like she was nervous, her knees were weak, and arms are heavy from carrying the camera. Sorry. No, but in all seriousness, she is under a lot of pressure to capture these moments.
For sure.
Like as someone who's like accidentally forgot to hit record in certain situations, your stomach drops. And if people are trying to get in the way of you because they want to sort of be a part of the moment, that's one thing. But it sounds like this girl Karen was being deliberate.
Yeah, for sure.
She was like a mosquito.
Weddings are super high. Weddings are very high pressure situations for photographers, for videographers. If something fails, like let's say your battery dies, you run out of room on your card, like your SD card. Like I feel like I'm like photography lingo here, but there's so many things that can go wrong. Or you could fall in a pool with all of your camera equipment. Or you just...
What?
I can see you holding that cup. I can see, yeah.
I'm holding the mug.
Excuse me, I'm speaking. You had your turn.
I'm not doing anything. It's comfortable this way.
Okay. Anyways, so these are high pressure situations. Knowing that, I get why she reacted the way she did and why she snapped. So to me, you're not an a-hole. Like you're just trying to do your job and someone's making it very difficult for you.
Yeah, I mean, judging by what you said about turning lightly pink, which was a great little storytelling tidbit there. I don't think you're an a-hole. I think you're assertive, and I think you need to be assertive when you're directing, especially when there's like a lot of family members around who kind of want to be there. You kind of have to put your foot down.
You do, but may I?
You may.
Sometimes when I'm giving like criticism, like constructive criticism, I say it with a little smile, like kiss and a slap is what actually Karen likes to say, your mom. Kiss and a slap, you know what I mean? When you're saying something like, I understand, but this was a request by the bride and groom, and I'm gonna need you to step aside because I really wanna make this an amazing photo for her, and you're getting in the way of that. You kind of just say it in like a very calm, cool, and collected way. I understand that you were put in a position where you might not have been able to, and emotions happen, okay? But put a little smile on, even if it's a little petty, a little passive aggressive when giving feedback like that.
I think I like giving, the serial killer smile where it's like you smile with just your mouth.
And like the wide eye.
Excuse me. I mean, that's creepy, but I'm talking about like people who smile from the nose down, so it's not real. It's like, hi.
So, yeah, for the future, I think if someone's being a pain like that, just say it with a little smile.
Just say, please, will you off?
Thank you.
GTFO.
I'm sorry, I don't speak Canadian.
All right, let's see some of your responses. Not the a-hole. You were the one being paid by the couple to take pictures.
I agree.
Not her, not anybody else. If they are in your way, you're allowed to ask them to remove themselves. And I don't think you were too harsh. OP responds, thank you. The comments are calming my nerves for sure. I understand that you're worried about like being the a-hole in this situation, but like who cares? What's she gonna do?
Oh, she's gonna cry about it? She's gonna wittily cry?
Not the a-hole. You were following the requests of the bride and groom, and unfortunately Karen would not listen until you snapped. See? There was more than one indiscretion, all right? You were driven to the point where you snapped. Sometimes you need to be an a-hole in the moment to put the true a-hole in their place. As long as the bride and groom were fine with it, you are not the a-hole. I have a feeling this isn't the first boundary Karen and Susan have stomped on with the couple. All right, I think the general consensus. You are not the a-hole, my dear.
You're not the a-hole.
You're not the a-hole.
She's a stinky little a-hole.
Stinky bum.
With dingleberries.
Stinky bum.
And I'm sure maybe it was a misunderstanding. Like maybe she just got really excited and got in the way and got like, a little offended because it's her family.
Who cares? Did you get the shot? You got the shot?
Show us the shot.
Show us the shot.
Show us the shot.
Show us the shot. Post it in the subreddit.
See!
All right, moving on. Am I the a-hole for pouring wine on my mother-in-law and kicking her out of my wedding?
Please, Charlotte, spill the tea.
Okay, I know this sounds really bad, but please read the entire story. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of already on your side.
I know. If it gets to that point.
I, female 34, recently got married to my husband. I'm 36. He was never close with his mom at all. She was invited to the wedding because she was his mother, but she never showed up to rehearsals for the wedding. She was a bridesmaid because she asked if she could be one. Okay, no issue. My bridesmaids were told to wear pink. Pink was in all caps, just FYI. I don't know if that adds color.
Well, I mean,
or
whenever
not.
you say the word pink, you have to scream it.
Pink!
How do you like your steak?
Pink!
I like it medium with a little bit of pink in it!
Keep that in mind. The wedding theme was spring, and my plan was to have them in pink to be like cherry blossoms. Oh, that's kind of cute. I was in a white dress, obviously, and I thought it would be so cute for photos to have them in light pink and me in white. Well, the day of the wedding comes, let me guess, she wore white. Guess what color the mother-in-law shows up in? You guessed it. White. Well, I mean, if you add some wine, you could turn it pink. I would say you could have drenched her in like some rosé or something, and then she would be pink.
Yeah, 100%. Or smear some cake on her.
Yeah, just some
chocolate cake. Then she would be sort of a mocha.
Juice. I asked her to change. By the way, they all bought their own dresses, the only specific thing being the color. But she said, well, you're wearing white, so why can't I?
What world do you live in?
Oh my God. We've been through this so many times. You can't because you are not the bride. My husband told her to change or leave. She said, I can wear whatever I want. I said, not to my wedding! Ah! She stormed out, shouting slurs and calling me fat. I cried. My maid of honor, my sister, comforted me. At the ceremony, the priest said, speak now or forever hold your peace. Suddenly, my mother-in-law appeared in the crowd, grinning ear to ear. No, please no, please no. She didn't object, thank God. Oh God.
Plot twist?
But kept grinning at me. Oh, that's weird.
It's so passive aggressive.
That's maniacal, honestly. At the reception, my maid of honor did the classic trick and poured a whole big glass of wine on her. She started screaming, my beautiful white dress!
Not anymore, it's not.
My husband then escorted her out. My phone began blowing up. My husband's side of the family all complaining and telling me off, saying she meant no harm and that my sister had no right to pour wine on her. My husband said me and my sister did nothing wrong, but I'm second guessing myself. So am I the a-hole?
It's tough. I mean, like, it's not right what she was doing. I think in that situation, your sister maybe escalated it a bit. Like, I don't know if the wine was necessary. Maybe a good stern talking to.
It is great for the plot. Like, I love the story.
I think she deserved the wine.
Yeah, she deserved it.
But the family is rightfully upset that your sister threw the wine on her. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still on your side though. I think that's gutless.
I still like, you can be an a-hole and still be right.
Yeah, you can be a little a-hole.
Honestly, every maid of honor should have the super soaker full of red wine for the off chance some idiot wears white to insult the bride. Don't worry so much. It was done to be malicious, so she got the appropriate consequences. I get why she did it. It should be commonplace that if you wear white, you could get super soaked.
You get like a bunch of wine on your dress. You don't want to wear white. Even if I wanted to wear white, probably spill on myself in the first 5 minutes. I always stain my white shirts. It's a problem of mine.
By accident, you mean?
No, it's on purpose. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she also didn't respect your wishes when you told her to leave, too. So it's like...
What about the fact that she wasn't close with your husband?
My only issue is that obviously this probably made a scene. I don't want people to like look back on your wedding and remember that as like the only, kind of thing, Like you can do it 100%. I support this, but just be like mindful of the fact, like when people talk about your wedding, do you want them to say, oh, it's crazy, like this girl wore white and then someone poured wine on her. Like, you want them to remember your wedding in a good way, right?
Yeah. It's like, you don't want it to be tarnished. I'm just thinking of a crazy story that I have of a wedding, but I don't think I should share it.
The time when the guy greened out.
Yeah.
I've already shared this story.
Have you shared the story?
I've already talked about it, yeah. I mean, that is the story that I tell when I'm like thinking about that wedding specifically. I'm like, oh God, it was crazy. This guy like had to get taken out on a stretcher and then it turns out he just like smoked too much weed.
Yeah, but the moral of the story though is that what happened after is that the groom's brother made the best speech I've ever seen at a wedding or heard.
A toast to the man with the worst haircut.
And the energy, it was like we were so low that we were waiting for something, and that speech was so good that it brought us all up.
Yeah.
To 1,000. So I'm hoping that at your wedding, I know that was a little blemish, and like I still remember this as part of my friend's wedding, but afterwards it was a hell of a party. So I hope something positive happened. I'm sure it was a lovely time. Yeah, man, I respect your friends. Like I hope my friends would throw.
Honestly, your friend is a real one for doing that for you. Also, kudos to your husband as well for standing up for you and not being a pushover with regards to this. Like sometimes you hear these stories of unhinged mother-in-laws and the husband doesn't do anything, and like I think that he deserves a reward.
What kind of reward?
Oh, you gotta give him that huck too and spit on that thing.
Everyone was so upset, but they're not close. I don't get it.
I don't know.
You're not the a-hole in my opinion.
You are not the a-hole, my dear. It is decided.
You are not the father. Wait, which one are we doing? Oh, you are not the a-hole. Subscribe! Not that part yet,
It's
right?
not over yet.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Am I the a-hole for taking my mother-in-law and ex-husband to court over his family heirloom, which he refused to give me?
I already hate this.
Why do you hate it?
His family heirloom that he refused to give her?
I mean, if it was decided that, she would get it in marriage, I don't know. Let's find out. This account is my sister's BFF's. She's letting me use this as a throwaway. I'm 31 female, and let's call my ex-husband Tom 33 male. We met in college, got married when I was 26. Ever since I was introduced to his family, my mother-in-law has hated me. She wanted him to marry her friend's daughter. His grandpa approved of me and always came to my defense. His grandpa didn't really get along with my mother-in-law. Mother-in-law didn't like him staying at her house, and also his grandpa had diabetes, so needed to be taken care of. She apparently thought it was a burden. After our marriage, we offered for his grandpa to stay at our house, and he agreed. A few years into our marriage, Tom and I had been going through a rough time, and we were fighting a lot. Mother-in-law would fuel our fight and would visit our house uninvited and will make snarly comments about how Clara was a better match.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Ooh.
It's so uncomfortable.
Gosh.
Shut the hell up.
Stop talking. And I was useless and was with Tom for his money. Tom wouldn't take my side ever,
Really?
and he'd be quiet. He'd also get mad at me for being disrespectful to his mom when I would fight back. I don't like this.
I don't like this at all. Tom has not earned my trust, nor has his mother.
We don't like Tom. He started taking on overtime at work to avoid me and was also rude to me and his grandpa for no reason. All this time, I had been taking care of his grandpa and we had a very good relationship. His grandpa sadly passed away last year. Soon after his passing, Tom and I got divorced. Oh, let me guess. Grandpa left you the heirloom.
Oh no. Also, sorry about that. It sounds like he was a nice person.
Yeah, he does sound like a nice person. Good for you for taking care of him despite your rocky marriage.
You're a good person.
While I was moving out, mother-in-law came by and made a comment saying something along the lines of, "Glad he came to his senses and divorced you before claiming the will that old man left for him." About 2 months after our divorce is finalized and I have already moved out, I get a call from Tom saying he wanted to meet up. I didn't really want to, but I agreed after some convincing. Well, Tom came with mother-in-law and they convinced me to meet at his lawyer's office somehow. Basically, his grandpa left me 3 jewelry sets, which are family heirlooms. Mother-in-law had no idea about the jewelry sets as grandpa and her didn't get along. If I were to sell the jewelry sets, I would get around $300,000.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And what is she going to use the lawyer to try to bully you into not getting?
100%. Always have a lawyer with you.
Yeah, you better. I hope you brought a lawyer, bestie.
Probably
But regardless, you don't have to say shit. You don't have to agree to shit. If that's what the will said, then you're entitled to it. Take them to court!
Better call Saul.
Now, the real tea is my mother-in-law doesn't want me to have anything, and she was trying to get me to sign off the ownership of the jewelry sets to Tom. I refused as I too was financially struggling and needed the money, so decided to get a lawyer involved in case something happens.
That's the play.
Mother-in-law, Tom, and their lawyer left the room to discuss something, and while they were gone, to be on the safer side, I took a photo of the will on my phone just in case. That's kind of stupid.
That's
what the
sneaky.
You just, yeah, but also you like left the room with the will out? Well, after they came back, we talked, and I basically refused to give them a check or the jewelry sets. I also decided to get a lawyer for myself in case something happens.
Received to give them a check? What do you mean a check?
I don't know. I guess the check or the lawyer. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, something did happen. Tell me why, when I called Tom to ask when the jewelry sets would be given to me, mother-in-law interfered and said, "What jewelry set? Why would he give you anything?" I was, oh no, she didn't. Oh no, she didn't.
Why do people think they're going to get away with this? Anyways, I know where
Like
this is going.
the lawyer was literally present when he told you what was in the will. I was confused as to why, and she and Tom were pretending to be oblivious about this. It turns out they either A, destroyed that part of his will, or B, are hiding it, so it looks like I never was given anything. I get my lawyer involved, and a whole show unfolded, and I'm taking them to court. Good.
Good.
Good. We move in the shadows.
Pick him in the family jewels.
His whole family has been blasting me on social media. Mother-in-law's sisters and family have been calling and messaging me saying I'm a liar and I'm trying to get something which belonged to my mother-in-law. The hearing is in 2 days. I hope you are bringing that picture, bestie. Well, now even my family's saying I'm being selfish and that I should just give up now that all the papers are gone. So am I the a-hole for taking my mother-in-law and ex-husband to court over a family heirloom? No.
No. But what I would do is I would sell it to them. I'd take it. And I would say, okay, buy it back. I wouldn't want the jewelry.
Yeah, that's if the heirloom is so important, that's a good idea, actually.
See, the problem with me is I wouldn't want it, but if I was struggling financially and they were clearly trying to me and smear my name, I would take it and I would be like, okay, fine, you can have it back, but you have to buy it from me. And then make them sign a contract, a NDA or something, saying that they can't talk about you once on social media. And if they do, you could sue them.
Yeah, I mean, you can already kind of take them to court. You already are. And by the way, we have an update on that, so.
No, we don't.
We do. Update 1, hearing is tomorrow. My lawyer contacted me today to let me know that I should be prepared as the photos I took of the will can be brought up in the court as false and false/fake documents by my mother-in-law's lawyer. Oh, hell no.
See, now that's some bullshit.
No, I feel like you can prove that they're real. Not sure whether the lawyer knows about the whole will doesn't mention you thing, which my mother-in-law pulled.
They must have records because they have printed records of the will.
That's definitely unethical if the lawyer knew about it and then also is lying about what's in the will. Yeah,
100%.
That's really, really unethical. Tom asking me to back out, I refused. He asked me to meet up, which I agreed after approval from my lawyer. My lawyer asked me to record the conversation in case Tom talks about the will or anything which can help us tomorrow. Well, Tom started to yell and call me a B word for trying to suck them dry. I mean, you didn't though. You just got what was owed to you by legally yours. He slipped about a check which was under my name. This was not brought up before. Before I could ask any questions, Tom just said, "You won't get anything either way, so let it be." And he hurriedly left. I don't know how much the check is signed for, but my lawyer seemed happy about this. Mother-in-law messaged saying she knows about this post and called me disgraceful for dragging her name through the mud and for lying about the will.
It's all good, man.
H thinks she's going to make a post to give her side. Oh, she did give her side.
Okay.
But that doesn't really matter because she won.
She did win.
She won.
So wait, were they allowed? They brought the photos were allowed as documents?
Well, I'll tell you.
Okay, I can't wait. Just tell me. Just tell me.
At the court, the main argument by mother-in-law's lawyer was that my current name is not my maternal name, so that will cannot be given to me. Oh
my God.
That's such a stupid thing. The will has my maternal name, but when I and Tom got married, I had changed my last name to his. After divorce, I applied to change my name back to my maternal name. It's still in process. That's stupid. I don't think that should be the main point of contention.
I know, but this is what legal stuff is. It's
yeah,
just
but
semantics and words.
Yeah, but you're going through a divorce though. Your name is kind of flip-flopping around. That should definitely yeah. Anyways, she won, so clearly the judge didn't really find that to be a big deal. My lawyer brought about the will being destroyed/hidden, and the opposition lawyer looked shocked.
This guy should be disbarred.
Well, I mean, he didn't know about it. I don't think he knew about it. That's the thing.
He doesn't know.
He didn't know that the mother-in-law said that there was no proof or whatever.
Yeah, but the lawyer's the one who had to read the will.
Totally, but the mother-in-law was the one that said, I don't know what you're talking about. Lawyer didn't know about all of that.
Okay.
Mother-in-law started to cry very loudly, saying all kinds of BS, which got her a warning. We presented the copies of the will, which I took, and I made the point again that mother-in-law clearly said there's nowhere stated that you will get anything. Her lawyer said it was an attempt to persuade me to be thoughtful about mother-in-law and Tom's situation. Oh yeah, is that what it was? I don't think he knew about the conversation me and mother-in-law had about there being no will, and just made something up to make it sound convincing. Well, yeah, about the check. Tom tried to speak out of nowhere, but their lawyer said nothing, but agreed there is a check for me. The court ruled in my favor, as my name change was in process before I knew about the will, so yeah, in total, I will get about $200,000. I got some other assets from the divorce, and I also sued them for my court time and lawyer fees. Eat dirt, mother-in-law!
Eat my butthole.
Oh, chocolate.
Look, it's complicated. I can understand where the family's coming from in the first place, but to do it that way is pretty gutless.
No, that's sneaky. That's super sneaky, unethical. Like, I understand they're butthurt, but maybe they should have had a better relationship with the grandfather that they seem to feel entitled to his stuff.
But I just think that, like, they could have gone about it a whole different way.
Yeah.
Like, if they were like, hey, look, this was in the will and he gave you these things.
Yeah,
we're
like,
wondering, these
we'll
are
buy it
important
back
to
for
us.
you.
Like, maybe we can buy them from you.
Yeah, totally.
Instead of trying to screw her.
Yeah, there was some shady stuff going on in here, stuff that's like not legal. Despite how you feel about this situation and like, you know, you can feel any type of way about someone else getting an heirloom you feel that you're entitled to. It doesn't matter. You're doing things that are illegal, and I will always side with the law and whether or not you're doing something that's like illegal. I just want to read this first comment because not the a-hole. Your ex and his weirdly obsessed mom can go suck an egg.
Go suck
You
an
have
egg.
an egg over there. You want to suck that egg?
You want to suck an egg?
You want to suck an egg? Oh.
That's a pretty good yolk.
Oh, that was good. That went almost right over my head.
I know. It's because we've been filming for a while and our brains are pretty scrambled. See, that went over her head.
Oh, that one did go over my head. I'm just trying to wrap this up.
You're honestly a shell of yourself right now.
You're really coming in with the fire right now. Thank you for that.
Did you hear what I said? You're a shell of yourself.
Yeah. You are not the a-hole, my dear. Clearly, I need a nap.
I guess you could say that money hatched right into your pocket. Subscribe! Subscribe!